This is a fantastic forum, and I'm delighted to be able to present to everybody here. The topic I'm presenting on is the transition of offshore oil and gas skills to marine renewables. We are based out of St. John's, and this is a topic that is certainly near and dear to my heart and everybody else that I know around here. So I'll start with an introduction of who Growler Energy is and some of our partners. Then I'll talk about some examples of the oil and gas skills that are transferable to the marine renewables. And then look at a case study for the Strait of Belle Isle HVDC cable crossing, where that was almost 10 years ago now that it enabled my transition from oil and gas to the renewable industry, and clue things up with the workforce opportunity. So Growler Energy, we got our name from the growler, the small iceberg. Growlers are known to move quickly, and we thought it was a good analogy for us. We are a small company, group of engineers that have a passion for renewable energy, and we want to see these vast resources we have unlocked and realize our potential through our project developments and the professional services that we offer. So we achieve that. As I mentioned, we're small, but we have strategic partnerships with Canadian Projects Limited and Tetra Tech for our professional services, and we've been able to tackle some larger projects with a good background and a good expanse of other resources to rely upon. About half of our team here came from oil and gas, and the other half has been in renewables for much longer. We have a particular expertise within submarine cable installation, and from route planning to permitting and installation and commissioning. So some of our representative projects that we have worked on as a team has been the Strait of Belle Isle Marine Crossing, Maritime Link submarine cable. Both of those, of course, connect Labrador to Newfoundland for power, and from Newfoundland to Nova Scotia. We also have experience with the Block Island Wind Farm and Empire Wind and the Atlantic Link submarine cable early works. Hopefully that happens here soon. So transferable skills. There are certainly many obstacles to overcome within the marine environment, and a lot of the lessons learned that we've gained from the oil and gas industry here locally in Atlantic Canada is certainly applicable to the obstacles that will be seen in the future with some of the tidal projects and offshore wind. The engineering, certainly the early works, there's a lot of engineers currently in Newfoundland and Nova Scotia and Brunswick that could certainly help bring these projects one step further. On the construction side, there's certainly a lot of expertise locally. There are certainly some projects that can be compared to new projects to be developed. Offshore wind structures, the subsea structures that would be needed to support the weight of those turbines are certainly similar to the structures that had to be created for the Hebron platform and Hibernia gravity-based structures. The techniques involved for construction of those major projects involve skills that our people have, and they can be found here locally for sure. Oops. I did a little too far there. Marine installation. Talk a little bit about that. We have, as well as the engineering, the planning, the execution, and the vessels to move large structures like the Hebron or offshore wind structures, or larger tidal turbines from shore their docks to their resting place, and where the resource can allow them to produce the energy. For subsea installation, offshore Canada certainly has its own challenges. Offshore Newfoundland has many challenges from weather and ice, and there's a real strong expertise involved with the people here that have built these projects and have overcome the obstacles that they were faced with, and certainly that could possibly help bring some of the new projects in the marine renewable industry forward without having to stumble over some of those same obstacles. Hopefully we can help each other out and all move towards making these the marine renewables more economical in the short term. So marine support, the vessels that are available locally certainly have the experience for moving mooring chains and moving structures into the location, and also providing the support for the personnel working offshore, and providing the tools and equipment and supplies needed to make sure that the projects and the operations go smoothly. Certainly similar vessels, similar challenges and requirements from survey to maintenance and the general operations. We have ports like this, the Bay Bulls Marine Terminal here on the right hand side of your screen, that are primed and ready to go to help service the marine renewable industry. We know that there's certainly a push globally right now to get the marine renewables accelerated, and we're lucky to have some ports that are capable of making that happen. And the offshore workforce. On the left here we have that's an HVDC converter station offshore, and on the right is a drill rig. These vessels are similar in that they are both require marine crews and the lifestyle required for that rotational assignment for personnel to travel back and forth offshore and go home to their families outside of that. So we have a culture in Atlantic Canada that's very familiar with that as well. So this case study, this is a picture of the drilling rig that was used to install the conduits for bringing the subsea cables used in the Strait of Belle Isle, bringing them from the sea to shore. And these were some of the longest landfalls ever completed in the world. This is the project that brought me from oil and gas drilling to drilling for the renewable energy. Those cables are large HVDC cables that bring the power from the Lower Churchill project to Newfoundland. There are 3 cables placed across the strait, and the conduits extend upwards of 2,200 meters. So it's quite a challenge to plan for that project, and utilizing a strong team that we assembled, we were able to utilize the expertise from both the HDD industry and the oil and gas industry to make sure that the right tools enabled success for that project. And it was a very successful operation on time and under budget for the installation of something that was groundbreaking at the time. So the opportunity is for the skilled workforce. We have the skilled workforce in place and ready and available, qualified, and there's there's obviously a downturn in the oil and gas industry right now where it's accelerating some people's desire to get out of that industry and get into the renewable industry. But again, it's all about the opportunity. It's for me, I was happy to help the renewable industry and work in something that I'm very proud of. And I did enjoy my time in the oil and gas industry as well. A lot of great qualified people working there, but there are a lot that would certainly like to see their skills put to helping with the energy transition away from oil and gas and into renewable. And I think that's my last slide there. Thank you very much.